Hey guys, today we are in Tasmania's most northern wine region called Piper's River. Super excited about exploring this region today. It is well known for its Pinot and Chardonnay, but they have a very high focus and specialty on sparkling. Now, who doesn't love sparkling? We do. We're Chloe and Matthew, two wine-loving foodies who have set out to explore the world one bite, sip and slurp at a time. In this series, we're exploring every iconic wine region in Australia to get a lowdown on the juice, the people and what makes them special. It's often likened to the region of Champagne here. Let's go and see what this place is all about.
Tasmania is not all that old really. 1957 was first started here in Tasmania. There's a vineyard not very far away from here that still has a few rows of Pinot Noir that was planted in 1957. This is Blanc de Noir, so this is 85% Pinot Noir and 15% Pinot Meunier.
Oh.
2.5 years on lees, made traditional method. Yeah, it's gorgeous. That lovely strawberry.
Zesty.
It is zesty, very zesty. Lovely small bubbles. I like that.
That's sharp. I like that big hit of Pinot Meunier too. That really gives us some character.
This is our last Blanc de Noir that we'll be making here. We have no longer the Pinot Noir here in the ground. This vineyard became Sinapius in 2005. A young couple by the name of Vaughan and Linda, who were both Tasmanian born, came from Smithton, which is the northwest coast. Linda's late husband Vaughan, he was the winemaker here. They were in their early 20s when they bought this vineyard. He planted every one of these vines here. Close planted, high density, and it is all about high quality fruit here.
If you're not following us on Instagram,
Oh yeah,
insert title here, where to find us. I feel like a smokiness.
Yep, it has got smokiness.
I feel like all of these wines have had a bit of smokiness to them. It's kind of been this characteristic
Underlying characteristic.
kind of like you can tell what his winemaking style
Yes,
is.
yeah. I poured this for you because this is also Gamay, and I need to tell you the little story about this.
Okay.
This was planted in 2015. Linda came home from work one day in September 2015 to find Vaughan in the veggie garden, no veggies, pulled everything out, and he had it ready marked out to plant Gamay. Wherever there was soil here, he planted something.
Beautiful autumn day, but that wind, oh my gosh.
Ed Carr is our chief sparkling winemaker for House and Arras, and he actually came down to Tasmania in the late 80s. They were looking for new plots to plant cool climate vines. Now what they were looking for in particular was Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. And after a few trials, they started to work out this trend. All the top parcels of fruit coming from the lower Tasmania. If Tasmania is producing this top quality Chardonnay, why are we making more sparkling wine? Also, why don't we have more vines in the ground? But we now source fruit from 19 different sites across Tasmania.
Ed Carr is Australia's top sparkling wine producer. If you're a fan of champagne and you haven't tried these wines yet, you're really missing out. Get your hands on a bottle.
This is where you get that acidity really kicking in.
Okay, it's officially probably the coldest night we've ever had in the van. Even Rex is cold. He's wrapped up in a blanket next to me. How cold was it?
I can't see my breath anymore.
It was like 0 degrees. Welcome to Tasmania, people. Can I have some cake?
No,
Why?
because no cake in bed.
But that's the only reason that I grew up and do all this adult crap so I can finally eat cake in bed.
For VanLife, why do we even have chocolate cake?
Zoe, shout out to Zoe who makes the best chocolate cake in the world. So good that we stole some and took it away. And now we're eating it for breakfast. Even Rex is interested. Cake in bed. We didn't do a debrief yesterday about House of Arras. That was some good spots.
when we bought here, sort of 17 years ago, it was a really attainable thing. It was a really interesting time because it was, you could argue that before then it was sort of dry red wine, and got the influx of good oak, passionate young winemakers. We all, chips on our shoulder, thought we knew what we wanted to do. We want to go and do our own thing, and that opportunity was there. 5 or 6 of us came and bought these properties and sort of that real second generation. Experienced winemakers that had sort of done their travel and done their vintages everywhere, earned their stamps, and had sort of decided that, okay, we can come and buy that parcel of land and have the privilege of being able to make wines of Provenance.
Well, it's an interesting story because, I would put myself probably in the same category of winemaker generationally as you. But, you bring up something like natural wine. I was brought up on making classical, traditional style wine.
Sure.
Very, take what you get from the vineyard, don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
The idea of piquettes or no sulfites, reds going straight from tank to bottle after 3 months.
Yeah.
That didn't exist. I was like, no, get the hell out of here. It's not how you make wine.
But for us as winemakers, we taste that wine all the time. That's all we really taste. We have cellar palates. We're tasting wine in barrel, unsalted, unfinished, unfiltered, unfined.
For us, we don't want that.
So I don't need to go to a restaurant to experience that. I see that every single day. Don't go to a bakery and buy a half-cooked croissant. Totally respect for some people waiting 15 years or 10 years to make Lake Disgorge, Blanc de Blanc is really challenging for a banker. And that is an obvious thing because it can be in the market for after vintage. But don't tell me that's a better expression of a vineyard. I want to show you some wines. Happy to take you for a walk and have a look at a couple of base wines to begin with, maybe. And then you can come in and have a look at some finished stuff if you're interested.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And then we've got a couple of things that are on skin still, but most of that we've sort of dragged into the end.
Yeah.
We just lost power. I love it when that happens. Vintage. Back again. Tassie's a really strange place. In the cold, wet years, we need to be able to get almost everything in really quickly.
Yeah.
We're 80% of our production is sparkling, so our vintage is early and fast. So what you're trying to hear is that crack. Like those snap, crackle and pop.
Rice Krispies.
Totally. So this road eventually moves, but we put all the bottling, all the disgorgement. I think the thing that I love about being in one place for this long is that you start to see seasonal changes and then those winemaking decisions and the way those winemaking decisions meld together into the wine. And so when we look at these bases, it's really more about how is Chardonnay evolving over time. This is my favourite one.
Yeah. Once again, if these two will ever quit talking, we can get back to trying some wines. Next up,
Piper's Brook. Established in 1974, Piper's Brook caught the attention of Craiglinger Australia, who acquired the vineyard in 2000. During our visit to Delamere, Shane highly recommended that we explore Piper's Brook and even made a call to see if their talented winemaker was available. Fortunately, Luke Whittle, the chief winemaker, graciously spared some time to spend with us, ensuring that we didn't miss out on this incredible experience.
This is our Craiglinger non-vintage Brook Rosé. It's a bit of a new one for us, actually.
Today was filled with some pretty amazing moments, but the excitement doesn't end here. As we unwind for the evening, anticipation builds for what awaits us on the west side of the river. Tomorrow, we'll be venturing into the captivating Tamar Valley region.
Moores Hill was recommended by just about everyone we had visited so far. This charming little cellar door creates an atmosphere that makes you feel right at home, as if you're sitting in your own living room savouring a delightful glass of wine. To top it off, we got a quick tour of the winery.
Stockinger, which is the only one which is coming from Austria. This beautiful color, but as well more flavor.
I'm really enjoying the Pinot Gris in Tassie. They've got this really distinct characteristic of Turkish delight, and they're so delicate. They're not overly oily. They're doing them well. They're going to start making pizzas here as well, and they're actually culturing their own dough. Should be pretty tasty. That was a really cute little place. New owners, new young owners, which excites me.
Young Australian /
French.
Bordelais.
Yeah, Bordeaux. Listening to what their vision is for the winery and how they plan to change and really focus on Pinot and Chardonnay really excites me, because that Pinot was legit. Yeah, definitely made me understand the potential of what Pinot can be like here in Tassie and what it might look like over the next 10 to 20 years. This is a really cute cellar.
This is cute, yeah.
I'm glad that we came here.
You're just glad you came here because it's fun.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hi guys, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, it's good. Sparkling serve to start with. Probably traditional method or champagne method, just an untraditional grape to use. Just did our last pick today, so
Oh wow.
we'll be cracking a few bottles of bubbly tonight.
Yeah.
So this is our clay pot. So this is Pinot Gris as well.
Yep.
28 days in contact, and we did the 28 days in the clay pot and then aged in stainless. I find it's obviously much lighter in the tannin. So for me, pet nuts encapsulate the vintage and the vineyard and the fruit more. So they're a very authentic representation. And as a winemaker or as the human input, you can't do much into them.
Mm-hmm. So what you see is what you get.
Yeah, exactly.
The winemaker.
That's cool. That's it's still got that yeastiness on those. It's still got that characteristic that as winemakers we're like, it's unfinished wine. So it still has that ferment smell.
Yeah.
But on the palate, it's very clean. It's like I can see this as a differentiator or an alternative to a sparkling Shiraz.
Yeah, dry one.
Right.
Yeah, and a very nice dry one. Like Holm Oak was another winery we had multiple recommendations for, and we're glad we stopped in, as the wines here are a true testament to the exceptional quality and craftsmanship found in this region.
Down left to right in front of you, so I will make just a little bit of space.
Yep.
And we are starting with the 22 Wizard Chardonnay. Then we're going with the 19 Estate Chardonnay. I've got the 18 Wizard Pinot Noir. And then I guess the best of what we produce is that 18 Pot Shot. Then we're going with the 2020 Wizard Pinot. So then you've got the same last two.
Holm Oak really made us realize what Pinot Noir was capable of in Tasmania. These wines were amazing. Complex, herbaceous, floral, all the points.
Don't you? You know what time it is. Oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever.
Oh, they're up there.
Here you go. Oh my god. It's Red Sea. Okay, this is cool. Chardonnay and Pinot Gris, aroma, taste, texture. And this is the garden, the sensory garden. I mean, it's probably a lot more alive in summertime.
Oysters!
Oysters! We're finally getting to try our Tassie oysters! Woo, woo, woo.
This is how fresh they are. Like, the seaweed's still alive on it. Possibly better than coffee.
Possibly, yeah. The texture's really good. Like, there's nothing gooey about them. They're so fresh. Tiny bit briny, but not too much. Tiny bit sweet, but not too much. I think they might top my favourite oysters in Australia.
So I can say your eyes.
So those oysters just left us feeling like we need more. So we're on the Tassie tasting trail and we're headed to find some crayfish. So that's another thing that this area is well known Stanley is super cute. So this is where we're headed.
Some for me, some for you.
Thanks, babe. Before boarding the ferry, we made sure to make one final trip into Hill Street Grocers. If you find yourself in Tasmania, this grocery store is an absolute must visit. It's brimming with a fantastic selection of local, gourmet products, all of which boast exceptional quality. The produce here takes centre stage with a strong emphasis on items grown or made in Tasmania. We couldn't help but fall in love with this place, and it's definitely a spot you should add to your own list. As we embarked on the ferry back to Victoria, we decided to treat ourselves to the Deluxe cabin for an overnight sailing. Let me tell you, it was totally worth it. Having a comfortable bed, a cozy seating area, and a private ensuite with a wonderfully hot shower made the journey even more enjoyable. After indulging in a quick snack, it was time to settle in and get some rest.
That wraps up our incredible Tassie trip. If you haven't had the chance to explore Tasmania yet, we highly recommend adding it to your travel bucket list. The beauty and the charm of this place are truly unforgettable, and we guarantee you'll want to come back for more. But for now, it's time to continue our journey as we embark on exploring the captivating wine regions of Victoria. Join us in our next video as we venture into the stunning Bellarine Peninsula and dive into the world of Geelong wines. If you're a wine nerd, get ready to discover some killer underdog region. Remember to hit those like and subscribe buttons so you don't miss out.